What's up guys, it's Matt, and in this video I'm going to attempt to teach you how to play Hillbilly in 5 minutes or less. That being said, we have no time to waste, so let's get right into it. To begin, there are two ways to play Hillbilly. There's drifting and curving. Drifting is pretty self-explanatory, so I'm not going to be focusing on that in this video, but to give you a quick rundown, basically you run either one or both of the turning add-ons, and then you can use this to your advantage to steer around the map and catch survivors by sniping them across the map. This is not really the best way to play Hillbilly, it's not the strongest way to play Hillbilly, so this method is typically not really seen. Curvebilly is the best way to play Hillbilly and also the strongest. Curvebilly essentially is, at the beginning of your chainsaw, there is a brief half-second window where you can turn freely, and you can use this to curve around objects to hit survivors while they're looping you on a tile. In order to do this effectively, you need to run one or both of the engravings add-ons. Now, if you play on PC, you may have noticed that the turning at the beginning of the chainsaw is actually very, very wonky. That is because it converts mouse movement into controller movement. So when you're turning with the chainsaw on PC, you're actually basically using your mouse as a joystick. That being said, in order for you to get the most out of your turning, you need to increase your sensitivity to 100. This is because with higher sensitivity, you can actually curve further and further compared to lower sensitivities. This goes for console as well, however, I recommend for console players to use between 70 and 85%, as 100% might be unplayable for you. Now, curving around objects isn't something I can exactly teach, because obviously all you do is rip the chainsaw and then curve around it, so that's something you do need to practice. However, I must mention that the real bread and butter to learning curving is to not just master how to curve around an object, but feathering the chainsaw. Feathering the chainsaw is basically where you juggle the chainsaw charge meter back and forth, typically between 80 to 90%, and then you're able to release and fully charge the chainsaw at the exact moment you want to actually start the curve around the object. This is done literally by quickly tapping the power button. Now, when you practice curving and practice feathering individually, they are actually very, very easy. It'll feel like, honestly, that you've learned almost instantly. However, the real challenge is trying to put these two things together to actually consistently curve around objects. Once you've gotten this down, you've essentially mastered Hillbilly. Another thing I need to mention is angling. Angling is essentially where you position yourself to get a better angle to where you can actually curve around an object that you otherwise wouldn't be able to. Here in this example, I'm hugging the shack wall, but I'm unable to curve around the corner because I do not have the proper angle. However, when I position myself away from the shack, even though I'm standing in roughly the same area, I'm actually able to curve around the shack and hit the survivor because I've given myself a better angle. Here's a better visual representation to demonstrate what I'm trying to explain here. The red line shows me not positioning myself to get a better angle on the survivor. The green line represents me actually positioning myself and angling myself in a way that I can actually curve around the object. Another thing I want to mention is slippery objects. You can find these on various maps. A slippery object basically is something that the chainsaw will not collide with. So you can actually use this to your advantage by looking directly into the object to curve around it and down the survivor. That's pretty much all there is to learning Hillbilly, but there is one other thing that you can do that is pretty much just for fun. They call it Skybilly. This is essentially where you use the chainsaw's momentum to launch yourself up in the sky. So if you want to learn how to fly, you can check my other tutorial here on how to do some of the basic jumps. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps. I'm live on Twitch. You can check me out there. Subscribe and like and comment, please. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much. Bye.